The Wrong Pocket by Katy Haye. Tresso felt the action when a thieving hand dipped into his pocket. He didn't want to make a scene, especially given what the kid had set their hand on, so he simply muttered a rapid enchantment as the thief withdrew their prize. Then he turned with no acknowledgement of the theft and walked away. Leaving the bustling market, he threaded through lanes and alleyways that grew progressively quieter and quieter. "Mister!" He was within sight of the park he was aiming for, when a reedy voice piped up behind him. "Mister, why can't I walk away? Hey, mister, what have you done to me?" Tresso ignored the question, speeding up as he slipped into the lush green park. The city grew instantly quieter, softer. "Mister, let me go, mister!" Tresso ducked left, stepping inside a ring of close-set birch trees. "Please, mister!" He swung to face the pickpocket. The kid couldn't be more than 10, grubby and feral-looking. They fit every stereotype of a pickpocket, and Tresso was surprised they hadn't been apprehended by the watch long before this. Bony shoulders squared, and the kid's expression turned to a glare. "Let me go or I'll scream!" Tresso folded his arms. "No, you won't, because if you call down attention on yourself, you'll have to explain why your pockets are full of stolen goods." "They aren't!" Tresso cocked a brow. "I could compel you to tell me the truth. I don't want to do that, and I don't care about fibs, but kindly do me the courtesy of treating me like a sensible person." The grubby brow creased. "What's a curtsy?" Tresso bit back a sigh. "Be honest with me, and I'll be honest with you. And I'll start by telling you that you really don't want to keep what you took out of my pocket. Not unless you want to be covered in boils, that is." The kid's eyes widened. A grubby hand vanished into a tatty pocket and pulled out the stolen charm, offering it back to its owner. Tresso tucked it into his pocket, and the kid wiped their hand down the side of their breeches. It was possible an exchange of dirt occurred, but Tresso wouldn't be willing to guess which way it had gone. "Are you a doctor, mister?" "Nothing of the sort," he replied. What's your name?" Tresso couldn't keep thinking of them as the kid. "Cal." He examined the skinny, grubby form a little more closely. "And you're a girl?" A scoff greeted that question. "Doesn't really matter what I am, does it? Not to you." "That's fair. What else is in your pockets, Cal? The market's been busy for an hour. I don't believe I was your first target." Cal's shoulders hunched. "Just a couple of coppers, and we need them, mister." "Why do you need them?" "We've got to eat, don't we?" "You look like you need to eat more often than you currently do," Tresso agreed. "You offering to buy me lunch, mister?" Cal's eyes sparkled as they asked the cheeky question. He nodded. "Very well, let's get lunch." Cal was still blinking in surprise when Tresso turned and began to walk again. He didn't need to look back since the spell still held. "How are you doing that, mister?" Cal trotted to keep up, appearing at Tresso's elbow now they weren't trying to hide. "How come I can't walk away?" "It's a simple charm." "You're a magician?" "A mage," he corrected, since the distinction between those who could do showy party tricks and true wielders of magic was still a sore point, even after 2 decades. "Will you teach me?" Tresso laughed. "So you can become a better thief?" "I don't think so." Cal pouted. "I tried begging. Everyone just ignored me. If I didn't take what we need, we'd starve." They reached Tresso's favourite cafe. He hoped he wasn't going to regret bringing Cal here. Then he pushed open the door and stepped inside. He took the small table at the back where they wouldn't be overheard. Ina brought them both coffee and a dish of the day's stew, and made no comment on the fact that Tresso had brought a guest, nor on the dishevelled state of said guest. There was a reason it was his favourite cafe. Cal inhaled the stew, and Tresso ordered a basket of bread to keep them occupied, while he ate at a more leisurely pace. Several rolls vanished into Cal's pockets. Tresso ignored the movements. "You said we," he said, watching as Cal scoured the inside of their bowl with half a roll. "Who else steals with you?" "What?" "We have to eat. We'd starve. Who's we?" Cal swallowed and watched Tresso as though deciding whether or not to tell the truth. Tresso waited. "Pip. My sib. Except they don't steal. I won't let them. Don't want them getting into trouble." A principled thief. That was less rare than gossip made out, Tresso had long suspected. "Where's Pip now?" Cal turned wary. "At home." "With your parents?" A scoff. They died more than a year ago now. Tresso wasn't in the least surprised to hear that. Where's home? He persisted. We've got a spot in the basement of an old bakery. You're part of a gang? Cal shook their head. I've kept us away from them. I've seen what the gangs do. I don't want no part in that. Does no one help you? Cal scoffed again. They wanted to put us in the workhouse. No one comes out there except in a box. I take care of us both. You've done well if you've managed that for a year, Tresso agreed. But what do you suppose will happen to Pip if you get caught? The mutinous lip put in another appearance. I won't get caught. I'm smart. I caught you today, Tresso pointed out. Yeah, but you're decent, mister. I know you won't turn me in. Tresso snorted. You know nothing of the sort. Cal paused, looking up, eyes wide. You won't know, will you, mister? At least, give me a chance to run first. Tresso took a deep, slow breath. Was he really doing this? You can call me Tresso, he offered. Yes, apparently he was doing this. A short pause followed, then Cal grinned. See? I knew you wouldn't turn me in. I do have some conditions, though. The smile fell off Cal's face. They wriggled, and Tresso wondered if they were really trying to escape. He muttered a word to end the spell. He wasn't about to force anyone to do anything. What's that, then? Cal prompted. You and Pip will come and live with me. Cal's hands tensed to fists. We're not doing none of that, mister. I'd rather starve. No, you misunderstand. The only obligations while you're under my roof are that you don't bring the watch to my door, you wash your hands before eating, and you learn. Cal's fists relaxed slowly as a smile dawned like sunrise. You'll teach me how to be a mage? I'll teach you your letters, Tresso corrected. Literacy is more important than magic. If the two of you turn out to be good learners, then I'll consider teaching you what I know about magic. It's fickle and demanding, not a plaything. Not many can wield it in any meaningful way. You show promise, but there are no guarantees. Why would you help us? Tresso leaned forward, elbows on the table. There are many theories about magic. The one I like is that magic is the soul of the world, and it has as much intention as you or I. Cal's brow furrowed. Well, it was a bit much to expect a 10-year-old to understand. Still, Tresso rarely got chance to expound his theories. He wasn't giving up now. Magic wants to change the world for the better. It simply lacks the tools to do so on this plane of existence. He suspected Cal hadn't realised he'd removed the spell, or the kid would be out of the door before he spoke another word. That's what it needs mages for. It can't act for us, but only through us. That theory states that magic will do what it can to put us in the right place to act when action is needed. He sat back. Perhaps that's why I was at the market today. Perhaps that's why you chose my pocket to pick. He smiled. I'd like to see if the magic got it right. Cal blinked slowly. If nothing else, you won't need to steal to eat for a few years. I dunno, Cal said, which was fair. Look, if I change my mind and turf you back onto the street, you won't be any worse off, will you? We'll have lost hope, Cal blurted. Ah. Tresso took a deep breath. I understand. The decision is yours, then. I know I can be trusted, but you know nothing of the sort. He fished in a pocket and brought out another coin. Touch this. Cal was perhaps so surprised they did so without arguing. Tresso incanted another spell. The coin vibrated gently, then settled. He put it in Cal's palm. Go talk with Pip. Take them the bread I know you've got hidden in your pockets. No one should make a decision on an empty stomach. Then decide what you'll do. If you want to take up my offer, turn to face the sun and hold the coin in your right hand. It will guide you to my house. If you don't want to see me, then you can spend the coin instead. The spell won't work for anyone but you. He wanted to wait. He wanted to persuade. He wanted to pull the kid along with him. Instead, Tresso got up, paid for their meals and walked out. He had to stop himself from looking back. His heart was beating hard, perhaps protesting what a fool he was. He'd made the deliberate decision not to have children, and here he was, suddenly hoping past hope that magic was going to give him the chance to take up a stepfather role to a pair of damaged orphans. He must be mad. But certainty settled in his bones and told him this was the sanest thing he'd ever done. He knew his own mind. What he couldn't predict was what Cal would decide. His lips twitched. Perhaps it was fitting that he grounded most of his spells onto coins. The coin had been flipped, and magic was turning it over and over. Now he just needed to wait and see which way it landed. Tresso delivered the Boyle's charm to where it was needed, then returned home. The air seemed to buzz, stronger than ever. He hoped the magic wasn't about to be disappointed the same way he'd be if he never saw Cal again. He tidied a little, then focused on making a meal larger than he normally did when he was on his own. The air was filled with the scent of spices, and dusk was stretching the afternoon shadows when a knock sounded at the door. He swung it wide to find Cal clutching a kerchief wrapped around what was probably their entire worldly goods. Beside them was a smaller kid, clearly a sibling. Both had pink faces and damp fringes, and Tresso thought they must have stopped by a pump to wash on the way. He smiled. "Cal, it's good to see you again. And Pip, I'm pleased to meet you." He stood back so the pair could enter. "Welcome home." That was The Wrong Pocket by Katy Haye. Please hit like and subscribe if you want to be notified when a new video is posted up. Thanks for listening.